Now, you want to talk about radicalism? This next clip will show you why this black nominee for the Supreme Court is nothing more than a social justice warrior. And she's not smarter than me. See, I need her to admit one thing. Because if you cannot respond to this question, and yet you're telling everyone, please nominate me. I'm clever. I'm smart. I am a Supreme Court judge. And yet you can't answer this? Before we get into this video, make sure you hit like, share my videos, subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. Also, make sure that your notifications are on and they're set to all. Now, let's get into this. But first, quick commercial break. Now, the Economist financial newspapers have said that the stock market has lost over $1 trillion so far this year. Yeah, you heard that right. $1 trillion. Even Facebook has fallen out of the top 10 tech stock, and all the markets have the jitters. And like you, people are worried, real worried. Except for those with gold and silver as their backup plan. They know with precious metals in their IRA, they'll be fine. Noble Gold has thousands of clients who have safely invested with them. Most of them have heard an ad just like this and called the experts, not a call center, but specialists who will give you your options. And for the month of March, with any qualified IRA above 20K, you'll get a 3-ounce silver American virtual coin or a 5-ounce American the Beautiful silver coin for anything over 50K. You know what to do. Call 877-646-5347 now to find out more, or you can visit noblegoldinvestments.com. That is noblegoldinvestments.com. Now let's get to this video.
Can you provide a definition for the word woman?
Can I provide a definition? No.
Yeah.
No.
I can't.
You can't?
Did she just say no? Did this lady just say no? Hold on, I gotta hear that again. She asked the most basic, simple question to a highly educated woman, and her response was what?
Can you provide a definition for the word woman?
Can I provide a definition? No.
Yeah.
I can't.
You can't?
Oh, you heard the question. Can I provide a definition? No, I can't. Why can't you? Huh? I know why. Because you know who probably is in the background, the evil emperor. Yes, Trump was an anomaly. I put you in office so you can provide the nonsense. That evil emperor probably won't let her say that. All of the folks who got together and said, all right, listen here. Are you down with our agenda? Are you okay with all of these social divisions that we're implementing in our society? So then when we do get a majority and they start coming to you asking for you to go ahead and side for stupidity, like this grown man getting in there and beating up all these women in the swimming pool, you'll be okay with that, right? So, of course, she cannot say that. When Democrats are put on the spot, and Republicans need to start doing this more. When they're put on the spot and they have to answer a question that would offend their precious victimized groups, but yet at the same time expose how radical they are, ooh, this is what you get. Now, for the rest of this conversation, I sped up their voices, so don't think that, they're all sucking in helium when you hear them. But for the sake of time, I want us to get through this conversation because it's hilarious, man. She got her up against the rope. So here we go.
You can't?
Let me ask you this then. United States versus Virginia, the Supreme Court struck down VMI's male-only admission policy. Writing for the majority, Justice Ginsburg stated,
They love her.
Supposed inherent differences are no longer accepted as a ground for race or national origin classifications. Physical differences between men and women, however, are enduring. The two sexes are not fungible. A community made up exclusively of one sex is different from a community composed of both. Do you agree with Justice Ginsburg that there are physical differences between men and women that are enduring?
Oh, y'all. She got that back up against that wall right now. She got that look like, oh, please don't ask me this question. Because if I say, yes, I do, I'm in trouble. You know how quick they would have this chick canceled? All of that, we love her. She's a black woman and we just... If she answers this the wrong way, all of that love for black women will go straight out the window. They will go out and drag some other black woman up and say, here, are you willing to play ball? And just completely deny your common sense, your education, your reasoning, your better judgment. Are you willing to forsake all others for the Democrat nonsense? See, because when you marry us, you got to forsake all your common sense, your dignity, your pride, your truth, all of your religion. You got to forsake all of that. So now, here this intelligent woman is about to try to tiptoe all around the mulberry bush.
Senator, respectfully, I am not familiar with that particular quote or case,
Okay.
so it's hard for me to
Okay.
comment.
Hey, now look, neither am I, but I can answer that question. See, now all of a sudden, without knowing all the details, I wouldn't want to just weigh in. It doesn't take knowing all the details. I understood what the lady was saying. The bottom line is, do you feel that there are differences between men and women? And she's now trying to act like, well, without all the details, I couldn't really make that determination. What are you telling us then? You're telling us that you're beholden to this radical agenda. You're telling us that you are okay with Marxist conflict theory. You're telling us that the people who put you up for nomination really done laid down the groundwork. They're saying, look, here's some things that you need to be very, very careful with and clear on. Because long term, we want these things passed. So if you get up there and you say, yes, absolutely, you're done. So now she got to look stupid. See? And I'm hoping that all of these people in America who've been praising her and saying, how you know, man, they nominate her because she's brilliant. They nominate because now you see why they're nominating her. The fact that she cannot even answer this simple question. So now she plays the dumb role. Could you repeat the question? I can. Let's hear some more.
Comment as to whether.
All right. I'd love to get your opinion on
Me
that,
too.
and you
Me
can
too.
submit that. Do you interpret Justice Ginsburg's meaning of men and women as male and female?
Again, because I don't know the case, I don't know how I interpret it. I need to read the whole
Okay.
thing.
You all hear that? Again, I don't know the case and how I interpret. I need to read the whole thing. Now, let's put this in another context. Here I am. I'm a doctor, and I'm out to interview for this hospital. Yes, I'm here. Okay. So, do you recognize the difference between a man and a woman? I can't really weigh in on that. I don't know all the particulars. That's very difficult. It's very unclear. There's still a lot of stuff out there. And you will be sitting there going, what? Hold up. That should be the first thing. Because how can you work on a man versus a woman if you don't know the difference between a man and a woman? How can you make judgments based on things that might pertain to men versus women if you can't answer there's a difference between men and women? I mean, how can you weigh in on domestic violence? How can you weigh in on women's rights versus men's rights? How can you weigh in on that stuff? All of the fighting to get equality, all of that stuff people went through so men couldn't just smack their wives around and it was legal. All of that stuff, women to be able to vote, is done away now because this Supreme Court nominee doesn't even know the difference between a man and a woman. Now, do you realize how dumb she sounds? But she probably does too. She just understands the game that needs to be played. And it's sad that she's playing it. It's sad that she's playing, but she's also revealing to us what she's about.
Can you provide a definition for the word woman?
Can I provide a definition? No,
Yeah.
I can't.
You can?
Not in
Okay.
this context.
Not in this context. Woo! Thank you, Blackburn. Got her on those ropes right now. She is trying to hug. No, break it up. Getting back in the middle of the ring and keep getting your butt beat. That's what you get for trying to sneak in a social justice warrior onto the Supreme Court. So now here she is talking about, no, I can't. So what are you? I'm me? Well, this has nothing to do with me. No. You saying you cannot give me a definition of a woman. So what are you? That's what I would have asked her. Well, I'm a gender neutral, non-binary, homo sapien organism. If you're a woman and you can't give a definition of a woman, you don't need to be a judge. I just do not understand how these people are trying to put this mess over the minds of all of us humans. That we're all sitting here saying, do they know how stupid they sound? What is the end game for this? They're trying to pervert reality to the point where we're no longer able to identify men and women. So then my point to her would be, what are you? If you don't know what you are, then you should go somewhere and sit down and figure that out. Okay, I mean, all the other humans know what they are, but you don't, and you're a judge.
Not in
Okay.
this context.
So you
I'm not a
believe the meaning
biologist.
of the word
I'm not a biologist. Oh, yeah, y'all. She's pulling out all the talking points to wiggle off that hook. But that worm is on it. That worm right now is on that hook. Talking about, I mean, come on, what do I look like, a biologist? She's a man. I thought we learned that in biology in like 10th grade. You see these ovaries right here in this diagram? That means that's a female. Yes, females have X amount of eggs throughout their lifetime. They have these chromosomes that's different from men, and usually they come in smaller sizes. Men have more testosterone, women have all of this stuff that a 10th grader could define and describe. But this highly intelligent, soon to be perhaps judge. I mean, what do I look like, a biologist? Come on. So if I show up and somebody at the car lot would describe a car, I mean, what am I, a mechanic? I mean, I don't know what a car is. This is pretty hard for me to define right about now. I don't need to know how to work on cars, break down cars, and build cars to know what a car is. So if you can't describe to me what a woman is and you sarcastically say that, what am I, a biologist? I know what you're doing. You're dodging the question because you're afraid that the people who are going to be pulling your puppet strings will have your head on a platter.
The word woman is so unclear and controversial that you can't give me a definition.
Why is that?
Senator, in my work as a judge, what I do is I address disputes. If there's a dispute about a definition, people make arguments, and I look at the law and I decide. So I'm not.
The fact.
Hogwash. See, I don't want you to just confine your ability to judge things on people just come to you with a case, you hear the facts and stuff. How about everyday little judgments that we all make? Before you can get to the point that you are at, you've had to make judgments along the way. Just rational stuff. Should I run out in the freeway or not? I mean, to chase after that ball. Because see, if you didn't make good judgments along the way, you probably wouldn't have made it this far. Meaning, you know what? Should I just look down the barrel of a gun and see if anything's in it? I don't see anything. These are everyday judgments that smart people make. One of those obvious judgments should be able to say, that's a woman, that's a man. I mean, excuse me, judge. If you're making a judgment case on a murder trial and a witness comes in and they say, all right, what did the assailant look like? Were they a man or a woman? And that person says, why are you asking me that? There's no such thing as men or women. It was an it. That's right. I saw it attack that person. And I really couldn't make out what it was. But that it ran all over the place. And I said, hey, it, get back over here. Okay? That's what I did. So we need more details. Was it a man or a woman? I don't know. I can't make that judgment call. They would look at that person and say, you're a bad witness. If you can't judge whether it was a male or a female. And yet she's telling us she can't do it.
That you can't give me a straight answer about something as fundamental as what a woman is underscores the dangers of the kind of progressive education that we are hearing about. Just last week, an entire generation of young girls watched as our taxpayer-funded institutions permitted a biological man to compete and beat a biological woman in the NCAA swimming championships. What message do you think this sends to girls who aspire to compete and win in sports at the highest levels?
Senator, I'm not sure what message that sends. If you're asking me about the legal issues related to it.
See, this is a black lady, y'all. I know her family does not believe in this crap. I know she don't believe in this crap. She's selling out right about now. Right now, she's like, I'm going to do whatever I got to do to get on the Supreme Court. You know that the Democrats would have never picked her if she was not willing to prostitute herself. We know that. They only elevate black folks, gay folks, Latino folks, all of these folks based on not them being black, not them being women, not them being gay, but by them being progressive. That is it. They can lie to you and try to pretend that it's all about diversity. They will sit back and tell you it's about the inclusion. But no, it's all about, are you willing to prostitute yourself to the fullest extent? Not prosecute, prostitute yourself to the fullest extent. Yes, I am. Great. So as your family members are probably sitting there watching this hearing going, what is mama talking about? That she don't know the difference between a man and a woman. Her mom probably is going, where do you think you came from? So if somebody asks you, who is that lady? What lady? I don't know what that is. Sure, that's an it that had me. They got to be embarrassed. But maybe they're overlooking all of this stupidity because they're like, so what? She's about to get paid and be a black woman on the court. As she sells her whole soul.
Those are topics that are being hotly discussed, as you say, and could come to the court.
Rowan Dean, do you actually need to be a biologist to know what a woman is, or a veterinarian to know what a dog is, or
No, you don't, Andrew.
A horticulturalist to know what an apple is?
No, you don't. And, if this woman who's, being nominated for the Supreme Court can't even tell us what a woman or a man is, then she obviously has no place on making judgments over men and women across the country.
Thank you. I mean, the folks down yonder watch that clip and that's their assessment. That should be everyone's assessment. Everyone's assessment should have stopped right there like the whole record just cut off. Did she just say she can't tell you the difference between a man and a woman? So now that just goes to show the spirit of perversion that has come upon our planet. And see, we got two types of perversion we're seeing take place. There is the perversity that even drives these people to push this narrative and manipulate folks. But then there's that seductive perversity that influences the folks that believe it. So we got the ones that are, devious enough to know that this crap is crap, but we're doing it with the goal and objective in mind. Then we got those that for some reason have allowed their common sense to be compromised and the seduction to take place to where they're the ones out there arguing with other folks about this and saying this is human rights. So we're going to kind of go back and forth. Now, who do I hold more accountable? Those folks who's pushing the narrative. They know this is garbage. They know this is a lie. They're using this stuff as Marxist conflict theory. Come up with some issue to divide everyone and make sure that issue can be an ongoing topic that can never be solved. We know that these folks will never bring in a man that just dropped a bun. We know it. We know no matter how many times people blink and think deep down on the inside, they're not going to switch genders. But we like to keep them trying, okay? We like to keep folks arguing and debating over this. That's why, unless something drastic pops up, this is going to be my last night trying to put this mess to bed. But I'm sure they ain't going to let me do it. Every time I try to get out, they drag me back in. What? Here's some more opinion about what they just heard here from the Austies. Let's see.
I didn't think I'd live to see the day that it becomes so contested, one woman asking another to define women. Corey.
Oh, Peter, it's just extraordinary. But it reflects how tortured the left's rhetoric on gender relationships and everything else is, that they are unprepared to talk about some biological realities. You could talk about the people who, you could say women are people who give birth or who have, certain biological characteristics, but they're unwilling to do it. And so how are you going to have a judge, a Supreme Court justice, that is unwilling to define what a woman is, or a man for that matter? It's like a free-for-all, and we all know where that's going to lead. We're going to see women's sport decimated like we did on the weekend or last week in America, and it's just going to get worse and worse. So I think mocking them is probably the best you can do right now, Peter.
Yeah, and the sad part about it is until a lot of women start getting mad, and I ain't talking about just walk past the TV and be like, you know what, that's crazy, and keep it moving. As this trend grows, you don't want this to really build up momentum. You don't want that. Because see, what will happen is, even though the majority of people will probably listen to this stuff and say this is crazy, but if they create the perception that everybody thinks this way, even if everybody don't think that way, people will subconsciously and passively fall in line. They will just simply start saying, well, we're just not going to say anything. We'll be quiet and let these people have their way because they're mad, because they show up talking about you're trying to erase me, you hurt my feelings, and they bring the news and all of that stuff. So if you don't speak out and take a stance against this, at some point, it's going to appear like you're in the minority. And in real life, we are the majority. Most people do not believe this crap. Now, this man right here says some good stuff. How can you be a judge? See, remember Roe v. versus Wade? Let's get rid of all of that. Why are we even debating about women's reproductive rights? If you can't even define what a woman is, I need to know what a woman is, or how about we just scrap the debate about women's reproductive rights? You should be able to identify what a woman's reproductive system looks like and what it does, huh? Yeah, if you're going to be debating about abortions, I would love to see a guy go all the way to the Supreme Court talking about, hey, look, they won't let me get an abortion. I love to see that. But this is the stupidity that so-called intelligent people are really debating. God bless you. God bless America. Don't forget to hit that like button, share my videos, find me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all those good things. And please check out Extreme Teas, my sponsor. If you like their products, please click on the link below this video. Put Kevin in a promo code. You'll get a 20% discount. If you'd like to donate to Kevin's Corner, feel free. The links are below this video. If you want to be a part of my $2 a month club, also feel free to do that. All it entails is you simply dropping $2 a month into one of those links below the video. Or if you want, you can drop a nice big fat lump sum in there to offset the stuff that we know goes on with big tech. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please subscribe. Make sure that you are still subscribed. And finally, set your notification button to all, because YouTube is playing games, y'all. Now, God bless you. God bless America. See y'all next time in Kevin's Corner.